Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to be seeing a demonstration of the radiation safety support services offered by Landauer, and Shawn Pickett is our presenter today. I'm Tiffany Fry, and I will be the moderator for today's session. Shawn Pickett is the Radiation Safety Support Services Director for Landauer Medical Physics. He has real-world experience, including RSO for a large hospital system. Shawn's been the named RSO on dozens of medical use licenses in multiple states, and he has advised hundreds of clients across the country on the safe use of radiation. Shawn holds a bachelor's degree in radiologic science from Midwestern State University and a master's degree in business administration from Webster University. With that, I will turn it over to Shawn.
Thank you so much, Tiffany, and welcome everyone. Exciting day. Let me see if I can advance my slide. There we go. So Radiation Safety Support Services was something we dreamed up probably a little over 8 years ago now. Now, like Tiffany said, I was the RSO in a big healthcare system, and I realized then that the radiation safety officer is a busy person. You have a large healthcare system with 5,000 employees, and there's one radiation safety officer. Even if they're at the top of their game and they really know everything there is to learn up until then, things change pretty rapidly sometimes in our field, and that person can feel like they're on an island and isolated, and they're expected to be the expert in all these modality types and radiation use types, and they get asked difficult questions. And the way the role of the RSO is designed, it's built so you can delegate some of these tasks. So we've built a robust program here that is designed to help these RSOs do more so then they can focus on the clinical care, focus on the patient. So we basically offer 3 services within Radiation Safety Support Services, and that is the main 2 products we're going to talk about: Radiation Safety Support, LANDAUER Academy, and also Regulatory Suite. So the first one, let's dive into Radiation Safety Support Services. It's also known as RSS or RS3, kind of depends on when you came and talked to us about it. But our main product there is called Dosimetry Management. And Dosimetry Management is kind of what the title suggests. It's review of dosimetry reports by a radiation safety expert. It's maintenance and management of your dosimetry program. That includes things like reviewing your ALARA reports and your dosimeter reports, your ALARA recaps. Basically all the report types that come into MyLDR, our experts review those and then put them onto a more convenient portal, so then you can just go and consume those reports, download them or keep them digital and flip your screen around and show the inspector when they come by. The program is meant to be digital, to take you into this digital space. Landauer, years and years ago, we used to ship out the reports, and we made the transition to go to a digital report. And this just takes us, taking that beyond the badge mentality and going a little step further and fully digitally managing your program. We also participate in Radiation Safety Committee. So we'll show up remotely, call into your committee or QI or QA or any type of improvement meetings that you're trying to do for your department, and we'll present our data. So we go through a live look at all of our reports, all of our dosimeter reports, all of our analytical tools that we've built for your program, and give you an idea of the health of your program, a 50,000-foot view, if you will. And we answer questions in that meeting. So we often see clients that might have questions around pregnancy monitoring or policies around occupational monitoring. And those really where we can kind of get into the weeds and help you along that journey. And so you can let your RSO focus on that clinical work and let Landauer go off and do the more, tedious kind of pen to paper and time-consuming work, right? So the next part of that, so there's two parts of this program: dosimetry management and regulatory compliance. At smaller facility levels, we do include those together, like as a bundle. But once you get to a larger, hospital systems, we do offer those as standalone services. So you could get one or the other and kind of customize your program. Some licensees and clients only want the dosimetry management side, and some really like to have both. And so the program is customizable. Regulatory compliance is also kind of what the title suggests. It's maintenance of your radiation material, your radioactive materials license. I got a little misspelling there. Your radioactive materials license. So the materials license is basically your authorization to handle, hold, possess radioactive materials with the state. You also have machine registrations, X-ray machine registrations. And these are also listing your inventory, your equipment, all of your policies around this. And that's where our team can help you make changes to this. For example, we can help you prepare and do an annual review of your radiation protection program. We do license amendments and applications. Renewals only happen once every 5 years typically. Sometimes it's renewal by attestation, and sometimes you got to do a full radioactive materials license application to renew your license. So we do this every single week, in our department, and probably even much more than that. So whenever your staff goes to do that, it might be that they did it once 5 years ago. It might be that you didn't have the same staff that renewed your license 5 years ago. And that can be a little bit of a daunting task. So why not work with a team of experts that does it all the time and can help you prepare that, get you right up to the goal line, so then you could submit it. And that's really how this program works great, is working with clients that just might not have enough time or expertise to do that type of work. We also offer policy review there for occupational monitoring. So review of legacy policies, help prepare new policies. We often help new facilities that are starting out without policies and we help them with best practices and kind of guidance along that way to get to where they need. Or they might come to us and say, look, we've had an RSO that's been with us for 30 years, but they retired, or we're now moving into a radiology group and we'd like a second look at this stuff. Joint Commission loves this because they know that you're working with some external collaborators to, verify your program, give that review and third look that you might need. The regulations change often with this stuff. Like, for example, the state of Alaska just recently changed a lot, or changed the way dental facilities are registered. So there's basically a different organization that is now the authority there. And so now they're beholden to a different set of rules. Now their radiation protection programs are required. Now they might need to do shielding designs and personnel monitoring. So basically overnight, there's a lot of facilities there that now have more burden to need regulatory compliance. So that's where we can really come in and help a whole chain of facilities, or say you have one or two that just need it. The program is scalable, so we work with the smallest one X-ray department facilities all the way up to university medical systems with broad scope licenses. And then we'd also do, within the regulatory compliance program, we also do advanced consulting. And I know it's kind of broad, but it just basically means, we are there to help you. And we're your little radiation safety angel on your shoulder, whispering in your ear, telling you the right things to do. And it's a reflexive program, so you come to us and you ask questions, and we give you referenced consultation. So we're not just saying off the top of our head, oh, you need to go do this. We'll give you the state regulations along with that answer. So a lot of times, like radiology directors or other facility managers are trying to affect change in their organization. And how can you do that sometimes is by utilizing a third party like us to give you best practice recommendations. So then we can kind of help you give the ammo, or help you fight those battles, and help you make change in your organization, right? We can tell you, oh, we've seen this work well at this facility or that facility, and how we can help you build that program. Another part of this is LANDAUER Academy. LANDAUER Academy is a website where you can go and access our courses, and I'll give you a short demo of that at towards the end of this program. And it's basically a suite of radiology compliance courses. Those courses can be consumed on our website for continuing education, or you can take the actual SCORM files from them. Those are like the raw education files, and they can be uploaded into your learning management system, so then you can manage the education piece. Say you have HealthStream or MyNet Learning or one of the other dozens of flavors of learning management systems. Our courses can be injected into your system, so then you can self-manage and self-assign. And so all of these programs are meant to help you be successful in the way that works for you, right? So we also offer radiation safety training, CT, fluoroscopy, and a few other courses in there. The last piece of this is called Regulatory Suite. It is also a website where you go and consume the service. It is a summary of radiation regulations. We've made an attempt to bring clarity where clarity isn't often provided, and we use our expertise to review and build that program and those references. So people like large providers of OEM equipment, for example, can utilize this service to help understand what are their obligations when they sell their service equipment across state lines. So if I'm selling a cone beam CT in the state of Florida, what are my obligations as a vendor? What are my obligations as a service provider? What are my obligations as a registrant? And that's really the goal of that product. So that's the brief introduction to the product line and what we offer. And let's start with our first poll question, if you want to launch that.
And that first poll question has been launched. And you're welcome.
Thank you. So what is the biggest challenge you face in maintaining radiation safety compliance? And
responses are coming in, Shawn.
Awesome.
Yep. And we'll give attendees about 30 more seconds to cast their vote. And then we'll close the poll and I'll share the results. Alrighty. And I'm going to go ahead and close that poll now and share the results. Alrighty, so 24% of the audience indicated staffing and training. 34% of the audience indicated keeping up with regulatory changes. 29% of the audience indicated monitoring and data management. And 7% indicated for both incident response and documentation and equipment maintenance.
Thank you so much, Edna. And it really rings true to me too. The staffing is always an issue. I was a department manager in nuclear medicine and non-invasive cardiology, and it takes 3 hours to do a bone scan in nuclear medicine, and it's always taken 3 hours to do a bone scan. You have to inject the patient, wait, and bring them back and take the exam, right? And honestly, longer than 3 hours because that's the waiting window. But you get 3 FTs or 3 points, for your department to use that toward your productivity, and then next year they say, hey, can you do that in 2.5? Unfortunately, a bone scan still takes 3 hours. So those staffing issues and constant crunch from finance and challenges are certainly things that department managers are always aware of. So here's a service that can take some of that burden away, at least to delegate some of those tasks to an expert teams to get them done fast and efficient and take some of that stress off your staff. So what does it look like to be a customer? This is a demonstration of the actual service. These are fake reports, some fake data, but it gives you an idea of what it's like to be a customer after you've been a customer for a year, because some of these things are kind of abstract that I've described, and I just want you to get a feel of what you actually get by subscribing. So today we offer our reports through an FTP portal. It is ftp.landauer.com, and in the next couple of months, that is changing. All of our RSS reports will soon be moved to MyLDR, so we'll have a little bit more of a seamless experience where you can access the reports just like you would your dosimeter reports. But so we're going to do this demo again in a couple of months, and feel free to come back and see the changes that we've made. But this is what it looks like today. you log in and you'll see a couple of folders like this. Depending on what you subscribe to, again, the program is custom. So it might be dosimetry management, it might be regulatory compliance. And so it's just like Windows Explorer. You can click on the folder in the middle, you could click on the folder on the left, and you'll see a Windows Explorer style drop-down where you can navigate the folders. Dosimeter reports is how it's described. You jump in there, and instead of going to my LDR to have to filter and search reports and really kind of getting a little overwhelmed with information, instead we provide you a report per month. So in this case, the client had 7 reports, but a complete client may have 12 reports, 1 report for each month if we're looking at it at the account level. We also offer a sub-account breakdown, so there is further customizability in the program where you can get your reports rolled up to the account level or the sub-account level. Basically, each report is concatenated to include all reports of that report type. So the first report, dosimetry reports, when you open it up, you can see that it is a report that includes all of the dosimetry reports for that month. And then the key piece at the bottom is the signature. That's what the inspector is wanting to see. It's great that you have your dosimeters. It's great that you have your reports if you can get them whenever the inspector shows up, but what the inspector really want to see is that you have demonstrated that you're reviewing, that you're managing that program. And if they come in and they see that, oh, you have Landauer reviewing your reports, and they see our nice logos on everything, that gives the inspector the peace of mind as well that you are actively managing your program, and you're working with a team of experts, and things aren't going to fall through the cracks as much as maybe a facility that wasn't working with it. It's not that you can't do this on your own. It's not that we have any magical wand that makes this easier. It's just that we've done this forever, and we're going to continue to do this until we're not around anymore. And I think that relying on a centralized expert team has a lot of value. We do the same thing with our company. We're a big company of a lot of different professionals and experts doing different services all over the country, and even our experts rely on our centralized team to provide that expertise and that consistent expertise to them. And the other reports are basically what I just showed you: LARA memos, LARA recaps, the Form 5s. RSC meetings is where it deviates a little bit. And all of the reports so far are basically all of the PDFs that get rolled up, reviewed by our experts, signed off, and then put onto the portal. The next part, Radiation Safety Committee, is a PowerPoint presentation that gets built off of your data. It does look similar to RadFax. For anyone that is familiar with RadFax, this has a similar look and feel. However, it is completely different and custom and built from the ground up specifically for our program. It does use the same source of data, so you can rely on the data, but it does present the data in a different way to provide a little bit more, I think, value, in my opinion, for this stuff. So let's go to another poll question before I give you the demo of the Radiation Safety Committee report, Edna, if you like. How confident are you in your department's awareness of recent changes in radiation safety regulations?
And that poll question has been launched, and attendees are casting their vote, and we will give them about another 25 seconds because I know it's
Awesome.
some additional information, Shawn, you want to make sure that we get to. So thank you.
Definitely, yep. We can do the next go, and we'll go fairly quicker through the next ones. These are, it's just it's kind of like I said, the 50,000 foot overview. Also, if anyone finds that they want to learn more about this program while you're answering your poll questions, feel free to inquire, or we'll give you an email address at the end of this demo where you can reach out for more information. We can certainly provide a more personal demo and customized consultation on your specific needs.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the poll and share those results. And 10% of the audience indicated very confident, 47% indicated somewhat confident, 22% of the audience are neutral, 14% indicated somewhat unconfident, and 7% indicated very unconfident.
Very unconfident. And so that's not surprising to me, because it's, even for us, this stuff changes constantly, and we have to constantly be aware. We use our program Regulatory Suite as a training ground as well for us to constantly be in all the regulations in every state, and to look in places that might not be the most popular or used sections to really get an understanding of what is required, right? So this is the Radiation Safety Committee report. This is part of dosimetry management, and this what comes out quarterly, okay? And it's a PowerPoint presentation you can post up in your department, print, share with others using QI. Whenever we participate in your Radiation Safety Committee, and in addition to this report, we actually give you a live look at the data, and we do a live view of my LDR with RadFacts to go through and answer questions. This PowerPoint presentation is also accompanied by several Excel files that include a more complete look at the data if you want to dive into anything. So as part of our services, you get, again, spoon-fed these reports instead of having to go distill the information from a portal. So in this case, it's just a simple account overview, some statistics around the demographics and some of the things around your program. Sub-account distribution, you're late and unused. The orange is late, the orange is unused. And you can see this program was a little bit on the high side of late or unused. This next chart is a rolling 6-quarter view of the number of ALARA 1s and ALARA 2s. In this case, there were 11 ALARA 1s and 3 ALARA 2s. And we give a little color on the left-hand side with some detailed information. This is where our experts come in and review this information. They're going through this and they're manually filling out the information on the left based on what do they see in this chart. So all of these are custom at each facility. This one is return compliance by quarter, dosimeters that are coming back to us or not coming back to us. So yellow bars indicate that they were returned to us, but they're greater than 45 days late. And the maroon bars are unreturned and they're greater than 45. So that means that there is an opportunity there still to get those dosimeters in and get them back. So if you're constantly reviewing this report, you can better actively manage your program, you can reduce your costs by getting your dosimeters turned in, and also increase your compliance by maintaining that dosimetry program, right? This one is unreturned dosimeters, so these ones that have not made it back to us, and this is a sub-account breakdown. So now you can hold different departments' feet to the fire and say, hey, look, CAT scan and OR, you're our biggest 2 offenders, and we need you to get those numbers down. Why aren't you turning your dosimeters in? And you can ask those questions, and you can use the data to affect change in your organization. This one's unused dosimeters by quarter, again, a 6-quarter rolling view, and this is just the top level number of how many dosimeters are unused. Unused is a little bit unique in our organization. Our dosimeters used to come to you in a wrapper, in a clear plastic wrapper with a paper card in the back, and we switched some number of years ago to a breakaway tab to reduce our packaging, right? And that breakaway tab is now our indicator on whether or not these are unused. So if you send them back with that tab still attached, we assume it did not go into our little Luxel holder, and that therefore it was unused. And it was not measured for radiation and everything. So I believe they actually do still measure for radiation, but this goes into your dosimeter report as unused, so then you can better track the compliance of your program and see, and like in this view, for example, which sub-account has the highest number of unused. For this account, it was oncology, and oncology by a tremendous amount. And maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they had a residency program and they're rotating new physicians through and they want them, or some type of nursing training program, or maybe there's another reason that they have all these unused. But there should be a reason why they have these. Maybe it's because that department manager doesn't manage the staff and they have high turnover and they add new dosimeters, but they don't remove the old dosimeters. We've seen a variety of that across organizations, and you can use this data to make improvements, right? This one's pregnant participant distribution. How many do you have in each sub-account? This one is dose distribution. So where is your dose in your organization? In this one, the highest amount of participants is in the lowest dose category. And then you can see 1.37% was in the highest dose category. So at a quick view, you can tell where is your dose in your organization. This one's collective deep dose. So how does it show trending over time? Are you increasing or reducing the number of participants, and how does that affect your dose? If you suddenly added a whole bunch of dosimeters because of some compliance reason, but your dose didn't change, well, was that the right move to make? And this helps you analyze that. that is regulatory compliance. I know I went through that kind of quick, but that is a PowerPoint presentation that we present quarterly as part of dosimetry management. The next one is LANDAUER Academy. LANDAUER Academy. LANDAUER Academy is a education resource for radiology. This is our landing page of our website. The little course tab at the top is where you will find all of our courses, and then you can click paid courses to see the courses that we offer. These are the courses that are available today, and I would just encourage everyone that is involved in a dosimetry program to go take Personnel Dosimetry. Personnel Dosimetry is a free course, and it does offer 0.5 CEU, and it's a great introduction to some of our services and how do you manage your program. And the last one, again, is Regulatory Suite, and this is also a website, regulatorysuite.com, that includes that attempt to try to summarize regulations, basically. And this is kind of what it looks like. There's summaries, there's downloads, there's searching, there's all these different features, and I would suggest anyone that is slightly interested in this platform to really reach out to us and let me give you a more complete demo. There's a lot here, and it's certainly very helpful for service providers. And these are some of the package options we do offer within that program. If you'd like to reach out directly to us, there's our email on the screen. If you'd like to send out an email inquiring about services, even if it's sometime in the future, that's fine. We've been doing this a long time. The program's probably been running about 10 years in a certain type of capacity. I have been here a little over 8, almost 9 years now. And so it's been fun. We've had a really good time building this, and I really love this industry and supporting clients and just solving complex problems. And I've got this awesome team that has been with me here since the beginning. We're constantly adding to it. And yeah, if with all that said, thank you very much. I appreciate everyone. If we do have a couple minutes for questions, if we have any.
But thank you, Shawn. That was a great presentation. I think there's a lot, you guys provide a lot of valuable services to our clients, so it's good to have an overview of that. All right, we did have a couple questions come in. I know we're running really short on time, so I'm going to go through them. First question, Shawn, what are some steps that facilities can take to improve their radiation safety practices?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, at a high level, I always tell people, take a first look at your radiation protection program. It's something that's kind of glossed over a lot in a lot of facilities. Some states require you to submit one. Some states provide templates for them. Some states, it's inferred that you need to have one. But I always recommend them, and I always recommend that to be the first place to start, because that is your playbook for radiation safety. It should have the regulatory references that are specific to your modality and your state or region to know how do you use radiation? What are the rules around that? What things do I need to post in my department? Like the notice to employees and a copy of the rules, and it just really gives you all the things that jumpstart your program. And even if you have one, you need to be reviewing that regularly on an annual basis. So I would always say, that's a service that is standalone, and it can be consumed on its own. So you can just buy a radiation protection program, get yours reviewed, and that's really the meat and potatoes of the program.
Okay. We just had a last second question come in. I don't want to miss it. Does Regulatory Suite have Joint Commission requirements in it?
That's a good question. You probably saw the accreditation tab on the top. I say that it has some, but it's not something we offer. It is on the internal side. My view that I showed there is an admin view. I should probably clean that up a little bit, but I would say it's in a stage of providing it, but it's not something that we offer to customers. But we do offer accreditation consulting through radiation safety support, and also our on-site physics.
Last question is, we are a small institution with limited resources. How do you recommend we effectively manage radiation safety and compliance together?
Small institution, and how do you manage it together? So I would also point to the radiation protection program. You know, that's where you're going to set who's responsible for what. Where do you keep your devices? What devices do you use for monitoring radiation? What practices do you use? What's the declare pregnant policy? Those things can be captured in a series of policies, and in a healthcare system, certainly, definitely more robust, broad policies that affect a lot of facilities and institutions. But at the smallest level, you're a little bit more on your own, especially if you're an independent practice. And again, that radiation protection program is really where I would start and where I would assemble everything into and be your source of truth for your organization. And that's going to include links to the regulations. So then I don't like to give like a copy of the regulations. What I like to do is embed the links to the regulations within my radiation protection program. So then if those links change, if the rules change, whenever I reference them, I'm going to get the truest source of information versus keeping a printed copy of the rules in a binder or something.
Okay, thank you, Shawn. That's all the questions that we have time for today. If anyone has any questions or if you submitted a question that we weren't able to get to. But thank you, everyone, for attending. Thank you, Shawn, for a great presentation. Thank you, Edna, for moderating our poll questions. And hopefully we will see everyone on our next webinar.
Thank you all for hosting, and thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you.